As requested, this brief video gives a couple more examples of how to use the basic conversion equation for calculating equianalgesic doses from one opioid pain medication to another opioid pain medication. If a switch from one drug to another is ever required, then the clinician needs to perform the calculation because the potency of opioid analgesics is not exactly identical. And so the current amount of drug in 24 hours that a person is now taking is converted to the 24 amount of drug that the desired drug will need to be administered. And the equianalgesic doses of the current and the desired drug are compared. And so as you can see in your textbook, box 10.3, the example of converting from oral oxycodone to parenteral morphine is given. And this patient is taking 160 milligrams of oxycodone orally in 24 hours. And if you look at the equianalgesic table, the amount of oxycodone orally that is equivalent to parenteral morphine. These are all equianalgesic doses. Here's the 15 milligrams of oral oxycodone is equivalent to 10 milligrams of parenteral morphine. So the equation down here is set up with the 15 milligrams of oxycodone. The patient is currently taking 160 milligrams of that. Equianalgesic to 10 milligrams of parenteral morphine. So the equation is set up EA dose of the current drug, oxycodone, over the EA dose of the desired drug, parenteral morphine, equals the total 24-hour amount of oxycodone, 160 milligrams. So then you cross multiply and divide the way we do with any ratio and proportion. And so 160 times 10 is 1600 milligrams divided by the 15 milligrams, and you end up with 107 milligrams of morphine, parenteral morphine, over 24 hours. And remember, this is a 24-hour dosing, because if you gave that all to him in a single dose, you'd probably kill him. It'd be fatal. So I have a couple more examples here. In this case, I'm doing a morphine to hydromorphone conversion, switching from one drug, morphine, PCA, to another drug, hydromorphone, PCA. And so I have the equation visible for you, the basic conversion equation, and you can see that the patient is currently receiving 24 milligrams of morphine over 24 hours. If we look back at the equianalgesia table, we see that 10 milligrams of parenteral morphine is equivalent to 1.5 milligrams of parenteral hydromorphone. So 10 to 1.5. So I've written that down here. 10 milligrams of parenteral morphine is equivalent to 1.5 milligrams of parenteral hydromorphone. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my equation. 24 milligrams of morphine is my 24-hour amount of the current drug. That is, I need to calculate what is proportionate. And we know that the equianalgesia proportion is 10 milligrams of morphine equivalent to 1.5 milligrams of hydromorphone. I'm going to cross multiply and divide. Take 24 times 1.5 and divide it by 10. So 24 times 1.5 is 36, divide that by 10, and I get 3.6 milligrams of hydromorphone is delivered over 24 hours via PCA. Sorry, put a typo in there. That should have been PCA, not PCS. I have one more example for us, and that is an example of converting from from hydrocodone to oxycodone, and oral dosing in this case. So again, I have reproduced the basic conversion equation up in the top here to remind you that's what you just need to know. And the patient is currently receiving 50 milligrams of hydrocodone over 24 hours. He's taking oral hydrocodone, probably along with acetaminophen because it's usually combined, in divided doses, maybe 10 milligrams every approximately 4 to 5 hours. So, and then when I consult my equianalgesia table, I see that 30 milligrams, here's the oral column, and 30 milligrams of hydrocodone is analgesic or equivalent to 50 milligrams of oral oxycodone. So 30 to 15, and I wrote that down too so I wouldn't forget it. 30 milligrams of oral hydrocodone equivalent to 15 milligrams of oral oxycodone. So when I set these numbers up in my basic conversion equation, the patient's receiving 50 milligrams of hydrocodone over 24 hours. My X is the 24-hour dose of oxycodone that I want the patient to receive, and my equianalgesia numbers are on the right-hand side of the equation. 30 milligrams of hydrocodone is equivalent to 15 milligrams of oxycodone. So once again, I will cross multiply and divide. 50 times 15 divided by 30 equals 25 milligrams. That is the X that I'm solving for. The patient will receive 25 milligrams of oxycodone orally in divided doses over 24 hours.